So my name is Sean Fenn. I'm the MCSC chair. I also sit on the board of directors. We just want to take you through the structure because it is a very large volunteer organization. We only have 2 paid members or paid employees. One is our CEO, Veronica Kietzman-Cronier, and the other one is Tamara Naidu. Andre, are you letting them in?
Yes.
Okay, thanks so much. So it gives you an overview. We've got our president, board chair, Mahal, who's just been re-elected for his second term. Yes, second term.
It's not that long, Sean.
Yeah. Well, Mr. President.
Thank you.
We have our vice chair, Paul Modisayesi. And then we have various portfolios run by independent members, all of which are volunteers. Here we are, MCSC in the middle. We have supervision portfolio that sits together with MCSC. Nominations and governance, people, culture, and discipline. We have an independent non-executive director, which is Neil Naipal, who is not a COMENSA member, who sits outside. He actually sits in the bank. He's a bank employee for many years, senior bank employee. And so he provides balance to our board in terms of questioning some of the things that we take as a given. We also have an independent or professional conduct committee, which is a non-executive board member, Steph Dawson, provides very, very fresh view on professional conduct. We have a research committee that are doing some amazing stuff. We have a non-executive board director, KwaZulu-Natal member, Farah Adi, and our past president is absent, or we don't have a past president. That would have been Mahal, but he got re-elected, so that space stays empty. But I think we've got more than enough within the board. What we've done over the last period since the new board came in is to kind of rationalize the whole structure and make sure that we've got a governance structure that complies to 2 things, King 4, and it makes a lot of sense within a volunteer organization. So it helps us make good decisions quickly, and that was the key of what the president was focusing on, and we focused on as a board. As I said, we have 2 permanent members, our Tamara Naidu and our ex-executive board member, CEO, Veronica Kietzman-Cronier. She excused herself from this morning because she has social commitments where she works in the community and communities in the Vaal area on Saturdays. So it's a passion of her heart, and she works with a whole lot of communities in re-gearing them and helping them move forward. We also have an independent, Robin Stone is in East London. He is our treasurer. And then we have 2 external a marketing consultant and an information communication and technology outsourced consultant. And then we have an external board secretary, company secretary called Melissa Voller. Any questions? Happy with that? Our structure, we have, currently we actually have 6 committees, but we haven't put these committees, all the committees on, because they are constituting as we speak. So we have the Gauteng chapter, we have KwaZulu-Natal chapter or committee, we have the Limpopo committee, and we have the Western Cape committee, all with new faces at the helm. So very nice to see. We also have a Free State chapter, which we've launched, and an Eastern Cape chapter, East London. They don't like Gqeberha, but it's East London and PE, and they're busy constituting and will be electing their members within this week, if I remember, Mahal, this week. Moving forward, we are registered as a professional body with SAQA in 2015. In 2006, we started the process of establishing the professional body, and then we're registered with SAQA in 2015 as a professional body. That makes COMENSA a very unique professional body in the world. We are one of only 2 in the world that are registered with government and registered by government, and have professional designations registered with the SAQA, which carry weight with industry and the profession. It means it's a recognition, a formal designation awarded to an individual, either coach or mentor within the industry. And we'll go through that later. I just wanted to point out that it's one of our superpowers is that we are a registered professional body, and we're the only registered professional body for coaching and mentoring. Our why is to professionalize coaching and mentoring. It is a very unregulated space. There's been a global move from all bodies, MCSC, ICF. All of us are focusing on making sure that we move towards the professionalization of coaching and mentoring within the global space. And why is that? It's to protect people. The other thing, it is because it is a very new profession. We need to create a body of knowledge based on coaching and mentoring. And so there's one of our core elements that's why we have a research committee, is to create a body of knowledge that can feed into the global dialogue on coaching and mentoring. It is also a place for coaches and mentors to network and interact with other coaches and mentors. Coaching and mentoring can be a very lonely space. You can sit in front of screens for hours and hours and hours, and then who do you talk to in the end? And that's where supervision will come in. Don't be confused by the name supervision. It is just a nomenclature that exists within coaching and mentoring. So it's coach and mentor supervision. And then we also want to be an educator and driver of awareness of coaching and mentoring and what it means to be a professional coach and mentor. Finally, we exist to ensure the highest standard of professional service in coaching and mentoring is provided to all of our stakeholders in South Africa and Africa. We have an Africa focus for 2026 moving forward, and that's going to become part of our growth dialogue, 1. And 2, there is a massive surgence of coaching and mentoring within the African continent. And we are very different to Europe, and therefore we have our own flavor. And as part of Africa, we need to be part of that dialogue about coaching within the Africa context. And this is very important. What do we stand for? Our values: accountability. As a professional body, we must hold people accountable, just like the Law Society holds lawyers accountable, and the Accounting Society holds accountants responsible, psychologists, doctors. We are in the same ilk as they are. And therefore, it is important for us to hold them accountable for their actions, behaviors, and deliver results for the benefit of all of our stakeholders. And that can be you and me. I entered into the space as an executive, transferring from education into business, and I recognized I need somebody to help me, and I had some good coaches. If I'd had bad coaches, I don't think I would have made it this far. Integrity: we commit to maintaining trust and credibility through honest and transparent undertakings that are congruent with our values, policies, and professional purposes. We have policies and procedures that are located within COMENSA and are submitted to SAQA. We've just gone through a recent SAQA reaccreditation or reevaluation as a professional body. And what we do is we are governed by King 4. We are a private business, registered NPC, and therefore we have to be compliant with not only the law, tax law, as well as SAQA's requirements in terms of a professional body. And those can be found on the SAQA website if you're interested in digging into that space. More importantly, as I said earlier, it's part of professionalism. We want to make sure that our members deliver professional service according to professional standards and commit to continuous improvement throughout for the benefit of their stakeholders, which is their clients, which could be you or me. So it's very important that we set that standard. And to that end, today is about sharing that. So if you're looking in as a prospective coach or mentor who wants to join COMENSA, you will find today will explain all of the requirements of being a professional registered with COMENSA and becoming a designated professional member by achieving a designation, which we will discuss today. And obviously, we welcome non-judgmental diversity amongst our members and the value it brings to the coaching and mentoring profession. There's a richness of our cultures as they come together, and the richness is in sharing what we do together. And then finally, we believe in innovation. We embrace a change mindset, coaching and mentoring as a global mechanism and tool for people to grow and change and develop, is growing and changing, and our approach to coaching and mentoring is changing as we recognize neuroscience and neurodiversity and dealing with all these aspects bring very interesting, subtle nuances into coaching, which you won't find in normal books. And the coaching fraternity, when we get together, we make sure that we share those things, and you can find that within our space. And obviously, technology is playing a role. The role of AI in coaching is a research item currently through University of Stellenbosch and through our current research committee. And what is the role that plays? So it's important that we stay abreast as a professional body and assist our members to stay abreast of what's happening in the global sphere. We have a lot of governance and policies because we are a registered NPC, as I mentioned earlier, and we are required by SAQA to have very specific things in place. So we have a code of ethics, we have chapter constitutions, we have bylaws, we have a solid MOI, Memorandum of Incorporation, and then we have COMENSA policies. We have 9 policies that govern each aspect of COMENSA as a business, from everything from supervision to RPL to membership, designations, evaluation of designations. Every aspect has to be accounted for in a formal manner. And those are available. We will be making available new member handbooks and guides to help you get through that within the next month. We also form affiliations and associations and collaborations. There is a recognition, global recognition, that we are not competing against each other, that we are working towards the same goal of professionalizing coaching and mentoring. And so it is important to engage and form relationships with key bodies that would use our services, would use the services of our members. So obviously SAQA, Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology, we have an MOU with them. South African Board of People Practice, work very closely with them. National Mentorship Movement and international events, we work with them. Joint Global Statement, GG, which is now the Sustainable Coaching Coalition. Some of this is a mouthful. The Race Roundtable. We have, I think the ICF one is already signed. The Association for Neuro-Linguistic Programming has been signed, and there's a couple more MOUs that are in the wings. Why are these important? Because we're now leveraging, as the new board, the relationships with each of these members, one for beneficiation, as in reduced fees and reduced cost of attendance to some of the paid events. And thirdly, that we can start collaborating on what it means as a coach within neuro-linguistic programming and what do we need to do there, which exposes our members. In addition, work sometimes flows from these relationships for our members. So SABPP is looking for 20 coaches to manage a space for them because they've got a contract with a client. They approach us, we put it out to the members, and we move forward. So this is a growing relationship that we have throughout the world. Any questions? Are you happy with that? Right, and finally, to land my little section, I want to talk, and this is for the new members. For those of us been in the room, it's just a quiet reminder of what the difference is between coaching, mentoring, and counseling. And when coaches or mentors go through the evaluation process, it's very interesting to see how quickly sometimes people can fall out of coaching and into either telling, which is mentoring, or instructing, which is boss-like, which is not great. So coaching is a collaborative process. It's about asking questions and allowing your coachee or your mentee, your mentor, mentee, no, not within this context, your coachee, to start looking for the ideas within them and the results and the questions and the answers to the questions that and this comes through raising self-awareness. And we will deal later with the behavioral standards framework, and the behavioral standard framework encapsulates relationship tools between the coach and the coachee, and making sure that it guides that relationship in a solid and sound way that makes sure that the person is always within a good space and able to go through this process of self-awareness and almost like a flower blossoming. And if you've ever been through coaching that is really meaningful, and a person can ask you, the coach asks you a really specific question that leaves you pondering for a long time. Part of the relationship with your coach is the coach allowing you the space to then dig into that thought. That's what coaching is. It's about asking questions, not judging, and working together with the coachee to achieve what they want to achieve. Mentoring is different. It can happen either within the workplace, it can happen in a coachee type mentoring relationship, but it's more about guiding and sharing information. Have you tried this? Do you think this would work? Why haven't you done that? Don't you think you should tackle that issue? So it's very different to asking questions that's very interesting. Tell me more about what you were thinking in that statement. As opposed to in my career, when I hit this situation, I shared this idea, or I used this strategy. Here's something that you can go and do. Perhaps you should go and do it this week. So that's the direct difference between coaching and mentoring. Everybody knows what teaching and learning is about. Can be chalk and talk. I see it's a lot more integrative. I work in this space. And then counseling is a very specific and directive approach, and involves professionals addressing challenges from people's past or their present or their future, and generally requires psychologists and psychiatrists and professionals within that space. I think I'm done. So that pretty outlines the difference between the two. We deal specifically within the coaching and mentoring space. And then we have learning, training and learning, which is more professional development, which takes place within COMENSA in various events that each of the chapters own, and then each of the committees offer to members. Done with it. Are there any questions? How many people have we got in the house?
I think 23. It was 23 at some stage. We are now 22.
I think someone just dropped off.
All righty. All right. I put this quite quickly. Are you happy if I move forward into the next one and ask our president to share the board strategy, and then we'll take a comprehensive break after that before supervision comes up? All right, Mr. President, introducing our newly elected president, Mr. Phumela. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks, Sean, and the esteemed members that are here. Let me take a moment of appreciation and a thank you to the MCSC team. I mean, we've run around throughout the country, yourself, Sean, and Andre, and the other members of the team. I'm really honored and very proud, humbled individual about the continued and persistent passion that I continue to see out of yourself as the MCSC team. Not only that, we are also having the honor of two of our supervision members, both Corette and Dominic. In fact, I have also seen that we do have the chapter chairperson of Eastern Cape here, and we have Madam Gabi Masilela Gumbi from the Gauteng chapter. So yeah, I'm really honored, and let me thank you specifically, Sean and and Andre for the sacrifice that you've continued. This gentleman has just started a new job or a new work, a very senior position shown this week. I'm shocked you are here because you should have been overwhelmed and all of that, but you are here. Let me extend that appreciation. Honestly, very highly appreciated. And to the leadership that I've also mentioned, that you can't do this if you don't have passion for that. Trust me, it has proven over the road shows. We have an air show today, but throughout the road shows, let me tell you, if you don't have it in your heart to serve, to give, you would not be able to do this work. So on that note, let me thank you sincerely and very much, so that you could still consider the members that could not make it physical to be with us, and that we also share. It's all about sharing. It's all about extending the knowledge. We are indeed in a new era, in a new phase of excitement, and the signals are showing slowly. We might not be moving as fast a pace that everyone would be expecting us to, but the indications are showing that there's an element of excitement. There's an element of, a vibrant, renewed, a sense of hope, a sense of moving forward. And it is on that note that the board said at the beginning of the year, in January, and put together a strategy which we themed or termed moving COMENSA forward 2030, meaning that it is a 5-year strategy that we have set ourselves as a board that we will be, and we identified out of 19 possible area of focus that we could have dealt with. We then committed ourselves to about 4 or 5 of those areas, which we then therefore said a 2-year term, no, even 3 to 4 year term, it's a very short term. So an organization is like an elephant. You want to focus on 5 areas that you want to do your best, work very hard on them, and then we can leave a legacy that can be seen, and also hand over the baton to those that will come and take the organization and move forward with. So when we looked at the moving forward strategy 2030, we also said, by the way, we actually are celebrating a milestone of 20-year anniversary next year. And it is on that note that we then therefore were to for COMENSA for the next 20 years. Maybe this is even the right and appropriate time to initiate and start the dialogue about what is the COMENSA we would like to see 20 years from now, which is 2046. And this is how you find countries like China and all of those. China don't plan for 5 years, don't plan for 10 years. Countries like India, they'll tell you our biggest challenge is that we're sitting here with 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion people. One of the biggest questions at the heart of China has always been, how are we going to feed this 1.5 billion people in 2050, in 2060? And that's why you would go to every big cities and towns around the world, and you'll always find a Chinatown. So it is as a result of that long-term planning. You can go to New York, you can go to London, everywhere and anywhere of the big cities that have been in the world, you'll always find a Chinatown. And this is a vision, a foresight that we would also like to have for COMENSA. Say, look, there are men and women that have put COMENSA to where it is at this point in time, to whom we are very grateful to have been ourselves at the helm of this wonderful and amazing organization that we are leading at the moment. And we would like to leave it as such. We would like to leave it even far better and and even at greater heights than where they left it, and hand it over to those that will come ahead of us. So the strategy, out of the 19 areas we explored, we deliberated, we eliminated, we then therefore decided that in the reign of this current board currently, we would like to focus on these key strategic areas. We said, more than anything, we are a member organization, and therefore it makes sense that we do not have a COMENSA if we do not have members. And therefore, our biggest focus is to drive COMENSA to be a member-centric organization, meaning that how do we add value to our members? And that is something that we feel very passionate about. It's something that we do believe that it will position us as well, very well, to our members, in that our members can feel a sense of belonging to this organization. They can be proud of it. They would want to be associated with it. And a lot of our coaches here, they are entrepreneurs that are running their own businesses. And how then, therefore, do we add value to those members? Many things we are currently dealing with at this point in time. What has always been at the forefront of the request from members has always been, please try and get work for us. We are troubled, we are constrained. And some of these things, we don't say them very loud, but I'm sure some of you have started seeing RFQs, requests for quotations, that are coming from a number of organizations. I've seen the likes of Capitec asking for RFQs. I've seen RFQs from Mintech. I've seen a lot of RFQs that are starting to come in. That's exactly what we are doing. We are penetrating, we are moving into a number of organizations where we are trying to pave way for our members to start getting not only work, but to enhance the value of coaching and mentoring in organizations and within South Africa. So that is one of the areas that if you're observant enough, you would have started seeing a number of those that the current CEO or the new CEO, she's no longer new, and that she's really been very passionate about. Financial sustainability. Financial sustainability, we are a non-profit organization, which we will, or by default, we are also a public benefit organization, in that whatever we do benefits public, as in through our members, coaching members of public out there. We are then therefore an organization that enhance, grow, develop our country, if not the continent, as we are looking to grow and advance at this point in time. Sean talked about the dialogue we are starting to engage on, and on how we can be able to make a difference within the rest of the continent. So financial sustainability is very, very important. And I keep on saying this, your money are safe with us, and we are looking to grow that money. At this point in time, we're looking at alternative sources of revenues. We have been constrained through the challenges that our members have been facing since the advent of COVID-19. A lot of members are out there. They want to remain with us. But unfortunately, some of them are not able to pay their subscriptions because they don't have work themselves. So financial sustainability will then therefore mean that by that very same default, we are hamstrung. We are starting to experience challenges as well with the membership renewals flowing through and all of that. So then what's next? The next best thing would be to definitely be looking at those alternative sources of revenue that we can enhance our finances. But be assured, as it is at the moment, in fact, we are in a good financial status at this point in time. Our finances are very strong, but that being said, doesn't mean that we have to be reckless and we have to start spending. Part of the money that we have unlocked, it was the road shows. Sean and Andre are here, and they'll definitely tell you that the financial stringent measures. And I'll give you an example where we then we said we're not going to fly to Limpopo. We will get into a vehicle. And we drove the 6-7 hours to 6 hours. It was not the Limpopo here of Polokwane. We went to Tsanin. This is where the roadshow was hosted. So yes, there's stringent financial measures we are also taking ourselves as the board, as the leadership, to ensure that where we can save the money, we do save the money. One ticket was going to cost almost a ticket from here to Nairobi for one person to get to Limpopo. These small towns and cities, you pay more for them than going to Cape Town. You can get a 1,000 rand, 1,500 rand ticket to Cape Town, but not to Limpopo. Governance is at the heart of what we're doing. Sean, you have already talked to governance. I'm not gonna deliberate on that. You highlighted how we follow the King 4, with King 5 having just been released, and it will start to be in place on the 1st of January 2025. And we have had our very own chapter chairperson of Limpopo rolling out that governance workshops. He has had 2 of those governance workshops to also make our members aware of how we would really like to have COMENSA been run properly as an organization. Increasing brand and brand visibility. I'm sure you'll also be aware that as COMENSA, we used to knock quite a few doors, and people would ask us, "Who are you? Where have you been? We didn't know about it. I mean, about yourselves." Yes, we used to be that small boutique organization that is there. Even some quarters of government, they really didn't know about us. But very slowly, we are starting to make inroads. We have met with the National School of Governance. We are about to of government. We about to sign a memorandum of understanding with them. They are very excited to partner with us. That's one big one. I've been in touch with the CEO of National Empowerment Fund, which is a funding organization within government for businesses and small for enterprises. So there's a lot of those visibilities, appearances that we are out and about to position and reposition COMENSA. And lastly, it talks to exactly what I've just alluded to now, to forge those beneficial partnerships. Sean had put a list of all of the organizations that we have MOUs with. Let me also dispel this myth. Contrary to the belief that we are competing, and Sean, you have also alluded to that, we have partnerships with EMCC, our very own vice president. She's a champion for that MOU. So every MOU we do have as COMENSA is championed by someone who is our eyes and ears, and ensuring that we can extract and we can benefit from that MOU we signed. So EMCC, it's a continental body. We are we are a country body at this point in time, and that's who we are for now. And we engage with EMCC as a European continent body. And then we have ICF. ICF exactly the same. I've talked to this during the road shows, that contrary to popular belief, people thinking that we're competing with ICF. If anything, we're complementing each other. Yesterday, I was invited by the ICF president in South Africa to attend his road shows, which was here a stone throw away from me in Midrand. Unfortunately, I had another board and I couldn't attend. The ICF president was there at LeaderX when I was hosting the AI workshop and presentations there. He was in attendance. But what you'll be excited to know is that he was the chapter chairperson of Gauteng. I took over from him. And he's still a member of Gauteng. He still attends the member meetings of COMENSA and everything. And even more than that, Dumisani Magadlela, who's just stepped down as the ICF global group. He's a South African, and he is a member of COMENSA as well. So I would like to dispel that myth that we competing. We all collectively would like to grow this 20 billion rand plus industry that seem to be growing year in, year out. And that's why we are talking to these mutual beneficial partnerships. Very exciting things that are happening. We are talking to, there were discussions, but don't quote me on this. We wanted to start discussing with the healthcare professionals. There's a team within COMENSA led by the GP, by the VP, of wanting to explore the possibilities of medical aids, considering payment of the credentialed coaches within COMENSA, and be consulted. Be paid for consultation and all of those. There's serious issues of mental health at the moment, and people are going through the most at the moment, and coaching is playing a very significant role on that. So yeah, that's where we are at this point in time. The conference we will be having to use to celebrate our 20th celebration next year. It's one of those revenue enhancement strategies we would like to put in place, that further to next year, that it continues to be an annual event that can be hosted, where we can be able to award excellence, have awards that can be given to coaches of the year, training providers of the year, mentors of the year, the members of COMENSA that would have excelled in serving within the different structures of COMENSA. So we want that to be the pilgrimage of what would be an ongoing. So it will be a conference, which will then therefore a 2-day conference, 16 and 17 of April, and then on the 16th we'll also have a gala dinner. One of the matters and issues that I'm also passionate about, it's that of engaging with training providers, universities, and all the different organizations that contributes to the growth and development of coaching, training, mentors, and all of that. Creating the body of knowledge, Sean, you have talked to that. We are engaging with the different professors of different universities. Stellenbosch, Professor Nikita Blanche, he will be a speaker at our conference. We're looking to have some professors from UCT as well. I think it's Susie Goodman, and many others that are in different universities in and around the country that we would like them to actually play a significant and important role. But this would be going through our research and development committee. I've just engaged with Professor Jonathan Passmore, who is one of the stalwarts and one of the big contributors, and someone who writes a lot of books in coaching. We also have a possibility of having Professor Jonathan Passmore from the UK joining us for the conference, either physical and or on interactions through him being virtual from there. But those are some of the excitements that are there that we are looking to really take COMENSA forward. In closing, unlike many other strategies, let me tell you, Sean is here, he's in the board. He'll tell you that implementation and delivery, it's at the heart. It's at the heart of what this, and every single person in the board, it's working towards something. And Sean, let me also once again, while you're here and you appear on the screen, last year AGM, there was a question about the website. I'm sure you all have seen the countdown to the website, and job well done. And that's yourself, Sean, who was driving that process. Every single one of us has got a task. And in June, and from January, in June, July, we met, Sean. We reviewed the strategy. We didn't let it to be in our drawers and gather dust. In June, we took stock of where we are, and I can tell you now, in January, we will then, therefore, or February, taking stock of our first year running and check what we have achieved and check what is still there that still needs to be pressed and pushed very hard. Members, on that note, thank you very much. I am grateful for yourselves as members for having seen the vision of saying, if we lose momentum of where we are with this new board, it might destabilize the process we are trying to follow. So your election, your nomination it's really highly appreciated. And even if other people would come, but at least we would have solidified this which we have started with this board. And I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Much appreciated. And thank you for giving your time this morning, and thank you for being here as well in support.
Much appreciated.
You could also be running in a marathon. President is an avid runner, so thank you so much. Are there any questions from anybody? Any questions? None? So I'm going to propose that we take a 5-minute body break, and then we'll come back and start with Gorette for supervision.
There's
Tebe. Yes, sir.
Apologies. Sometimes it's Saturday. Thanks, Sean, for such a presentation. Mine is quite simple. I heard from the president. He mentions the MOUs and so on. Since we are navigating our strategy objectives for a chapter, aligned with the national objectives, of course, just a minor clarity question. Are we allowed at the chapter level to have some kind of a provincial MOUs with the key strategic partners we identified? Or should we just align, have that delegated to the national body to spearhead that? Thanks.
Sean, if you allow me, thanks.
I was going to ask you, Mr. President, it's in your mandate.
Yes, thanks, Tebe. That's our chapter chairperson for Eastern Cape, as I've alluded to, Mr. Tebe Matuba. Thanks, Tebe, for making the time. We talked to this when we were in Port Elizabeth in Gqeberha. You might have missed that. Because you are in East London. Okay. The following day, the same question came in East London, and I'll give you an example. The people, in Port Elizabeth, the people there, they were very excited about hearing about the issues of partnerships, and they talked specifically to the local organizations like Kucha. Sean, if you still remember, we talked about Volkswagen, which is in Uitenhage and all of that, and we said. And yourself, Tebe, I know Mercedes-Benz is going through tough times there, but those are the type of partnerships we would like to create. But we wouldn't like you to run solo. I mean, let's say you have contacts and connections within the Mercedes-Benz in East London. It would be very nice to have you as the chapter chairperson being accompanied by both the COMENSA, the vice president, and or president, depending, or even MCSC people who can come and actually give assurance to those organizations that what we're doing here, we are running a solid organization that makes a difference in the communities in which we live in. So back to your question, invite us. You are more than welcome. I've mentioned that Madam Gabi Gumbi Masilela here from Gauteng. this National School of Governance, it came through the Department of Higher Education. Gauteng has already had the discussion with the Director General of the Department of Higher Education, which we are most likely going to be ultimately getting to meet with the minister very soon. And this was initiated through Gauteng chapter. Proudly South African initiatives and engagements. All of those are the initiatives that have come through. So I see someone is talking about the abbreviations. I'm sure it might have been a National School of Governance. If there is an abbreviation, I've mentioned that. But all of these are the initiatives that can come directly from the chapters. Sean, you were not in KZN. Andre, you'll remember Alison still talked about the sugar, what is it, Hewlett in KZN. So you have your own organizations that are within the provinces in which you operate, Tebe. I hope I've answered you. So knock the doors with us, but invite us so that we can put weight to those opportunities you have. It will carry much more weight if you as the chapter chairperson have national supporting you on them. We're playing supportive role on those.
Much very clear. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Any other questions before we break? All right, I'm going to call it then. Can we agree to be back by 10:05? It gives us 7 minutes.
Yes.
We get a
I'll
nice
then therefore be excused, Sean. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
to
Mr.
everyone
President.
who's
Thanks so
here.
much
I
for
did
the-
request to be released at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Much
Thank you so much
appreciated.
for accommodating me. Much appreciated.
We'll
Enjoy
see
the
you at
rest of the day.
10:05.
Okay.
And thank you, Mr. President. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
10:05. See you now. Correct. I updated the slide, by the way. Now your name is you're not whatever you were. You're now who you should be. Alrighty.
Why not?
Hello.
Trillian, welcome. I saw you came in late. Nice to have you here. You're muted, unfortunately.
I didn't seem to have the link,
Oh,
but anyway, I've made a plan. Got it.
excellent, excellent. I'm glad you're here.
Determination.
Yes. Everybody back. We're happy to move forward.
Happy to move forward.
Right. I would like to invite you to sit back and enjoy our hostess, Gorette Doria from the Supervision Portfolio Committee.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sean, and welcome everybody to this air show, which I absolutely love instead of the roadshow. It does make it easier when we're sitting in our homes in front of our laptops and getting the information that is being shared so generously. So my name is Gorette Doria, and I've been part of COMENSA for some time and been on supervision committee for the last, I think, 2 years, going to my 3rd year. And today in the room, I have Dominique. I saw Angela was in the room, but she stepped out. And Dom is a stalwart in our committee, and she has, she knows more than anybody, I think, about specifically supervision. And then Shelley-Ann is new. Shelley-Ann Bridges is new to our committee. So we're very excited to have a very strong and new revived committee that's going to push us where we want to be going as a committee. So the value of supervision is, for me, absolutely invaluable. And it's about the understanding of why it is. So if we go to the next slide, please, Ron. So let me just unpack a little bit more about what it is. So our committee is new, and Joanne Searle is our, she's our chair, and with Dom as our secretary. As you can see, myself and Belinda have been around for some time. The new committee members are Shelley-Ann Bridges, who's in the room, Angela, who was in the room earlier, Marlene, and Sharon as well. So those are our committee members, and we're loving having this new energy that's come in and new thinking as well. So let's just go into what the definition of supervision is. So for me and for coaches out there, it is for coaches and mentors and provides a formal space for reflective practice. And reflective practice is the way that coaches and supervisors as well grow. And that is where a qualified supervisor and a supervisee engaged in a dialogue. And this could be one-on-one sessions or in group sessions. What happens in a supervision session? It's focused on the supervisee's coaching and mentoring practices, and the purpose of it is for their professional and personal development. So you'll see that there's a 7I model that we use, and that's the model that gets used in the supervision. And the purpose of it is that their clients receive the best possible coaching and mentoring. For the newbies on the team, it's about understanding that this is a professional practice, and as Sean was told us earlier, I mean, we are a SACRA registered organization, and professionalism is part of us. It's integral in every coach and mentor's journey. But it is definitely fact that we need to, as a professional supervisor, a professional coach, is that you are having a supervisor that you can work with. So somebody that you trust, the conversations get deep, you build a brilliant relationship, and they get to know you and you get to know them. But moreover, you get to know yourself better in the process. So it is very integral in a part of every coach. It is a standard for practice for coaches and mentors worldwide, and in South Africa particularly. And since I've been part of the committee, it's about we need to drive this to become mandatory. So, in most of the coaching courses that you attend, supervision should be offered, and sometimes is offered as part of the learning journey. We are wanting that to be mandatory and to continue as a practice. As a CPD process, and so it isn't a one-off only. It is to make you accountable to who you are and continue to grow as a coach by a supervisor. So it is a requirement for the designated COMENSA members, and that means that you should have one supervision session every quarter, so 4 sessions per at least over a year, and over a 3-year period. If you are managing your CPD points and your designations, then it is 12 CPD points that we need. So it is available to experience, and you can experience supervision at our COMENSA supervision events. We had one on Thursday, and we had a number, we had 70-odd people on the group, and we have a practice. So our events are a little bit of an information. So the last session we had, Leanne Bridges talked about the boundaries that we actually have to put up as professionals in coaching. So we had an introduction about that, and then we went into breakaway rooms, and that was led by a supervisor, and you experienced a supervision session within that. But what we're wanting you to do is to link up with a supervisor that can actually supervise you in your practice. So just to tell you that we have a brilliant, I've just gone onto the website. I am very impressed, by the way, Sean. Love it, love it, love it. You can now find us as a supervisor, because we had a big issue with the fact that you couldn't find a supervisor on the COMENSA website. It is there. This supervisor list is still going to be updated. This is still not the most recent one. So we will actually go and have it get that updated. So we'll get that to you to be updated. So it is about, it is going to be on the website. But not only that, we have a huge announcements to make. So you can take us to our next slide. And this is all going to still be shown to us next year, is we are going to give you, and these are for the people that are not credentialed, for the newbies on the course, we want to offer you a low-cost supervision. So what that means is that we want you to link up, and it's going to be available on the website, that you go and find a supervisor of choice that's registered with COMENSA, and you lock in with that supervisor for 4 sessions, and those 4 sessions of 2 hours a session every quarter. The dates will be allocated to the supervisors on the session when that gets launched. I'm expecting it to be next year. The cost of that is really low cost, and it is 1,400 Rand for the whole of the 4 sessions. For 8 hours of supervision, you're getting it for 1,400 Rand. Thank you, Intabasing. Appreciate that. So please, 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 and maybe I must hand this back to Sean to ask when that's going to happen for. So we tried to do the supervision this year, but it got very complicated getting people back and forth, and people were interested, and then they weren't locking in with the supervisor. So at this stage, what we are looking for is that You will look at the actual supervisor on the website. You will then look at the dates that the supervisors have actually put onto the website and committed to do group supervision sessions next year. You will pay the supervisor directly and go and lock in with that supervisor for your supervision sessions, which then you can link into and log on to the CPD points, which I know Andre will be taking you through shortly, and that gets tracked. So if you are going to actually be a designated coach on the COMENSA platform, you need to have your supervision logged, you need to attend supervision sessions, and this is what we're offering you. So we're very excited about that. So Sean, before we actually open the floor, when are we expecting this to be locked into the website?
So that'll, we're with the development already taking place on that. There will be a booking space that you can click on next to each of the, well, there'll be a calendar with all the dates,
Yes.
and then there will be
Yes.
a space that you can book with that specific person. So we're currently working on that.
Yeah. So
But,
2026.
Yeah, 2026. Yeah, we want it up and running by January 2026. So,
Correct. And the dates that are in the diary that the supervisors that are
correct.
offering it have already put all the dates it is for only next year. So
Yes.
start looking at that. And yes, if you want
Yeah.
to start looking into that, it'd be fabulous. Thank you, Sean.
Excellent. Thank you, Gorette. Just to little segue that we need to do for those who are here today who do not understand supervision. I want you to look past the label that comes around the word supervision. It implies that somebody looks over your shoulder and quizzes what you're doing. I had one or two friends who actually brought me to COMENSA leave because they didn't want to go through this process. Who's going to supervise me? I have a PhD in counseling and whatever. And that was before I went through supervision. And what supervision is like having a coach for a coach, or a psychologist for a psychologist, or a psychiatrist for a psychiatrist. A supervisor or guided reflection practitioner, which is a bit too long and a mouthful, is there to help you reflect on on your sessions with your clients. And what I found in the process is that, and those many can share who go through supervision, is that it's almost like you take a spotlight and put it on yourself, and you say, oh, I recognized I missed that, or I could have done this better. And so when Gorette talks about self-improvement, that's what this guided reflection process, and it uses a very specific model that they use. Go for it, Gorette.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, so for me, I always look at it as this mirror, that thing when you walked out of a coaching session and you think, oh my word, I have no idea, because sometimes coaching sessions can go wrong and something happens in the session. It's at who do you go to? And that's what a supervisor is there for. You take it into a coaching, into a supervision session, but it's to know that you've got something that was like that troubled you, like that didn't sit well. And it could be a number of things. Hey, from sometimes that very gray line around, was that counseling, was that coaching? I know that in one of the group sessions before, somebody said this came up and we're like, oh my word. And then as the coach, they went down that hole and was like, we understand that there is a clear line, it's ethically not okay. And that conversation comes and gets discussed. And it is a really to get you to be very clear about what we are supposed to be doing as coaches, what is ethically correct, and what the boundaries are as well, which is what we covered on Thursday when we actually had our event. So absolutely happy to take it. But Sean, it is, for me, it's not, yes, we were talking about, is there another word we can use other than supervisor? Because it's about what's a supervisor. So, you're taking the world of work as somebody who overlooks what you're doing. And it's actually not. It is that mirror to reflective practice. It's to somebody who's going to ask you those questions as a supervisor to a coach around their practice and around their development. So very key about how that distinction is played out.
Thank you,
Gorette,
Gorette.
may I just mention,
yes,
yeah, in the train, when you go in supervision training, they actually use the word supervision, but super-vision.
Ah,
So it's already got a different meaning to it. And I
Yes.
thought that was beautiful.
Yes.
that's maybe what we must try and do here. Thanks, Dom. I think we must
Yes.
do that. Start
Yes.
changing our supervision.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with Andre. It gives me supervision when I
Yes.
am discussing with my supervisor. Absolutely. And then, Goet, may I just add one thing? Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah.
When we look for a supervisor for our CPD and during our designation journey, we don't have to use registered COMENSA supervisors. As long as your supervisor is trained, you will receive your CPD points, but you're not forced to the 15 supervisors on the actual website. Just to check that.
Excellent. The other thing I would like to ask while the professionals are in the room is CPD to become a supervisor, and whatever I'll talk to Sakwa what we're doing on Sakwa after this. What are the requirements to become a supervisor, a coach or mentor supervisor?
Okay. Now, I think that we've just had Shelley go through all of this. I don't have all of those. Or Dom, do you know that?
It's just a lot with the policy. The policy is on the website,
Yes.
Sean, but it would be too much to break down now.
Okay,
Really?
so I
Yeah.
think I was looking for that you would need to be a designated coach.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you'd
Like
have to be a
COMENSA,
designated
yes.
coach, and you'd have to go through supervision training. It is not
Oh,
just,
sorry.
this is like a pitch up and ask the right questions.
Yeah.
There are very specific techniques and methodologies that are used. Shelly-Ann, I don't know if you want to come in there.
Well, I mean, Belinda's just sent us all the policy revisions for what it takes to become a designated coach or supervisor. So it's still in the process of unraveling, which I mean, I think we're going to be finished quite shortly with all that information. And just to say, like you say, I mean, many of us are trained by Jo Searle, and she's using the European Mentoring and Counseling, Mentor and Coaching and Mentoring Council. Anyway, which is a fabulous training. And I have to say that being trained as a supervisor it's more than just a training. It's a quite a deep internal process of looking at how we as coaches engage with, whether it's a coach, another coach, coachee, or whoever, and really coming to grips with how one impacts the coaching process. So it's more than just reflective thinking. It's a deep internal discovery of how we operate as a coach, which is fabulous. Fabulous.
Wonderful.
That's
That puts the cherry on the top. Thank you, Shelley. So are there any questions from the floor? I can't see everybody's hands. There are no hands. Alrighty. But if right at the end or something grabs your thinking, Gorette is going to, she's got to go and take puppy for training, so she's going to pop off now.
That's a quarter to 12, okay.
But thank you so much,
I'll
Gorette.
hand over, yeah, but then I'll hand over to a very capable Dom if I am not in the room. Thank you.
Dom will be in the house. That's fine. Thanks so much. All right, so supervision is very important. We from a COMENSA point of view, we are aligning with global best practice, which is one of the things that I mentioned earlier. And so we're in the process of preparing to submit supervision as a designation to SACWA. What does that mean? Well, Andre's going to take that through you for coaching and mentoring, and then it all will be revealed. It means that if you are a designated member as a supervisor, you will have a specific registration with SACWA, and you're recognized as a professional in that field. And I think it's kind of the pinnacle of coaching when you become a supervisor, because you have to be a designated member. to become a supervisor. So it's 2 for 1, yeah. Thank you, Andre. I introduce our long-standing Andre Retief. He's been everybody in this entire COMENSA. He even has an asset sticker on his bum, and has a world of wisdom, and knows COMENSA like the back of his hand. So, Andre, thank you very much for doing this all in this rough week that I've had, and making sure that we're ready to rock and roll. You're a stalwart. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And just for the record, that's not really true. I don't have that designation sticker. Anyway, can you all see my screen? I hope so. I'm sure it's all good. All right, so we're just going to share a little bit about professionalism, designations, how to apply, how to do your CPD points, the last part, and I might talk quick. So if anything's unclear, please do stop me and ask questions if you need to, so that we don't lose it. And hopefully this can be helpful to you going forward, so that you can step up to the next levels and become even more professional than what you already are. So just to start off, and I know someone also asked for what are the abbreviations and that for, but first of all, I think it's important to mention COMENSA language and the jargon, because people so easily throw around words and then they create a false expectation or impression with people. And therefore, we don't use the word accredited. We use approved. That comes with your training provider programs. We approve programs subject to certain criteria. If you are a training provider, please also join us on Thursday at 12 o'clock. We have a workshop for an hour to update you on the new version of the training provider programs and how it works, and there's certain new things that we need to share. So please do make sure that you join us for that. We also used to have or mention recognized training providers, but now we talk about a training provider program that's been approved. The reason why this has changed, because people just came and they registered as a training provider, and we had no control of, are they really teaching behavioral standards for coaching or for mentoring? And they put out stuff into the industry that sometimes was really questionable and scary. And then they had the COMENSA logo attached to it, and people would approach COMENSA and say, this is garbage that's been put out there. This was terrible training. And that's why we look at the program and we approve the program, not the actual training provider. We also talk about evaluators, not assessors. The website does use the word assessor, but it's actually evaluators. And we have ordinary members, and we have credentialed coaches and mentors, and also student members. So if you are a credentialed member, that means you either have mentoring or coaching professional designation. So why do we need to be professional? There's various reasons, but we always use this scenario. If you go to a doctor, I'm sure you would prefer to go to a doctor that you know is really qualified and above board, not one of those dodgy ones. And being professional means that you are, first of all, ethical, because that's why we have a code of ethics in COMENSA. In order for us to ensure that if you sign that pledge, that you are then being ethical as well. And that's why we also have the opportunity, if someone is unethical, that they can be reported, and if they are a member, it will be investigated by COMENSA. So ensure that you are always up to date with the ethical policy that we have, or the standards, and don't compromise those. It's very important. We want to professionalize the industry, and we're trying our best to take this forward. Also, you coach or mentor according to a set of standards. So there are some people out there that they've never trained, but they think that, oh, I'm actually a coach. I can go out there and coach because at work everyone comes and they ask me for advice, and therefore they print business cards. They got this nice bag that they carry with them, sometimes branded, or they put a sign up their door, I'm a professional coach, and yet they have no clue. And that is what we're trying to avoid. And a couple of past presidents back, we had John Paisley that used to call them cowboys. We don't want that in the coaching and mentoring industry. So make sure that you coach according to a set of standards. It's out there, and it's there for your help as well, to make sure that you coach and that your coachee or mentee knows what to expect, that they know this person, they're ethical, they got standards, they know what they're doing. And sometimes people say, oh, well, I just wing it or whatever. That's not what we want. Also, that you engage in CPD, continuous professional development. Now, that's very important. And we'll go through that in a while just to show you basically how to upload your CPD points, because that's important, especially once you have your professional designation with COMENSA. You need to make sure that you engage in CPD. Otherwise, how do you grow as a coach or as a mentor? So here are the different options for your path to become a more professional. We have in coaching 3 levels for your designation, which this will change soon. The first names there on the first levels, substituting the word credentialed with another word that we are still working on. But for now, it's a COMENSA credentialed coach, or we use the abbreviation CCC, or a COMENSA senior coach, which is at the next level, which is CSC or CMC, COMENSA master coach. And now that goes the same for mentoring. So you can also be a credentialed or a designated mentor. Sometimes people think, oh, well, because I'm a coach, I can also mentor. There is a difference. Yes, some of the things overlap, or sometimes you also need to mentor, but you need to contract correctly with your client. But we are able to also award those designations, and you go through the same process of being evaluated to see, are you really mentoring correctly? So either way, you can choose your path. You can also have both designations if you go through both processes. So it doesn't mean if you have the designation as a coach that you can't be a mentor designated. Either way, so you can have both, or you can have either one, depending which area you are playing. Now, just to start off with level 1, which is the COMENSA credentialed coach or mentor, you will need 60 hours of coaching or mentor specific training and 100 hours of coaching or mentoring. Now, if you're mentoring, you can't apply for coaching because the hours are different. You need to have coaching hours or mentoring hours. So make sure that you have the correct one. Now, 60 hours of coach or mentor specific training, that needs to be, as it says, specific training in that field. If you've had mentor training, you can't apply for coaching, and vice versa. Or if you've done another course in whatever it may be, financial advisor, that's not coaching. So that does not count. And I can mention here, if you have not done specific training and you are, sometimes there's born coaches or born mentors, and you've got lots of experience and you're really into it, you're doing it correctly, you can also go on what we call the RPL route. RPL, recognition of prior learning. SACWA has that as a requirement as well, that we give you that option too. And when you'll see just now, when you do apply, there are 2 different pathways, but you still undergo the evaluation to see that you are doing it correctly. And there are even master coaches and master mentors that went RPL. So that is, but they can demonstrate the behavioral standards that's required. So remember that if you have not done training, and maybe some of you are experienced, but you haven't got that certificate, you can still get that professional designation, but remember there is a process. And if you're unsure about anything here, at the end we'll give you our details. Please ask. We're there to help and support you. When you have done the application, which we'll also show you when you do it, there's certain documents you need to have ready and upload. You will then be contacted and subjected to an evaluation process. So 2 evaluators get allocated to your application, and they will then schedule a session with you where you coach one of them, and they will then evaluate you and see, do you demonstrate the behavioral standards? Now, the behavioral standards is the basis of coaching or mentoring. Now, for mentoring, we don't do a live session. The evaluation will be a recording that you submit, and they will then evaluate you according to that, because it's many times more subject related, and the evaluators are not specifically maybe in IT or whatever it may be. They might not have the knowledge to actually do that, but they can then look, are you demonstrating the mentoring behavioral standards? For coaching, there's 9, mentoring, there's 6, and it's maybe worth looking at it in the policies as well. That's on the website. But please make sure that you are prepared well. We also have something that we're gonna launch, trying for January, where you can also engage with what we're gonna call a designation champion, where that person will take your hand, guide you, make sure that you're well prepared for your evaluation, and that you don't miss it the first time. Because some people rock up, they actually don't know respect, and they don't coach correctly, and they have to have it redone. So once you are or have this professional designation, then you need to log your CPD points over the 3-year period that designation is valid. After the 3 years, we need to look at your CPD log and see if you meet the requirements. There is a CPD policy on the website, but in short, you need 72 points over 3 years. Of that 72 points, 12 points needs to be for supervision. And you get 1 point, not per hour, per session that you attend supervision. It can be either in a group or it can be one-on-one, but you get 1 point per session. And I think Gorette mentioned it earlier. Per year, it works out once every quarter, once every 3 months. Now, what happens, sometimes people leave it for the last minute. They got a month left, and now they got to renew or have their designation renewed. Now, suddenly, I don't have CPD points. Can you guys help me? No, we can't. Unfortunately, you can't push in 12 supervision sessions in a month and also attend all the other things or engage in all the other activities. It's not difficult. There's certain activities like, for example, you can read a book on coaching. You can claim, you can see what's required there, or you do attend a workshop, you attend COMENSA events, you get points for that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can even read an article on mentoring or coaching, you can claim for that. So it's not really difficult. Most people are way over the 72 points when they submit their CPD log. But one day there was a person, he had 6 points. And now suddenly he has to renew. He says to me, can you please send me the links to all the COMENSA events over the past, I don't know how long. And I'll quickly go through them and upload the CPD points. It doesn't work like that. as it says, continuous professional development, not 1 month quick professional development. So please ensure that once you have this professional designation, that you do it continuously. Go once a month and say, okay, what have I done this month? And then upload it. And it's quick to upload, and it's actually a breeze. And then you know it's intact. You're working towards that. Don't leave it for the last minute. And even if you are not yet on that level and you're an ordinary member, why not start uploading it? Get into the habit of it and start looking, okay, what can I do to grow as a coach or as a mentor? Because you can't say, okay, well, I've done training and now I'm starting to coach. You need to stay ahead of your clients and be updated continuously on what's happening in the industry. Certain changes could come, who knows? So yes, 12 supervision sessions, and then you are really good. For our second level, senior coach or senior mentor, you will need 120 hours of coach or mentor specific training and 500 hours of coaching. Now, just to clarify something, if you have your 100 hours and you did your first level, you are now that member that's got that designation. You carry on from 100, counting 101. You don't have to start from scratch again to count up to your 500 hours. You can just continue, and also with regards to the training hours. Now, if you have joined COMENSA recently as a new member, but you got the experience and you already have 500 hours, for example, you don't have to first go to the level 1. If you meet the criteria for level 2, you can apply for that designation going straight to level 2. We've got one now that's just done an application to get that professional designation. She's got over 500 hours, probably close to 1,000. She doesn't have to go through the first level. She can go straight to the second level. So please remember that. But if you are unsure, contact us. We'll help you and guide you through it. The same thing there, 12 supervision sessions, your evaluation process, and that needs to be logged. Then for our level 3, master coach or master mentor, you need 200 hours of coach or mentor specific training. Also for these 2 levels, you can do the RPL route, like I said, the recognition of prior learning. But here you need 2,500 hours of coaching or mentoring. So please, if you got that, you can jump straight into the master level. But have the integrity, know that, yes, this was coaching. It wasn't counseling. It wasn't something else. It was mentoring or coaching. And then you can apply for that designation. And the same year with your CPD, and you're going to be evaluated. So it's scary, and people think it's terrible to go through that and sit on that side of the table again, and someone's going to check you now. You got this panel watching you now. We try and create a friendly atmosphere, safe space, and it's about you demonstrating. They're not examiners, they are evaluators. They are just monitoring that you are using and applying, demonstrating those behavioral standards. If you are afraid, get over the fear, because you would expect your clients to get over it, and you can too. Once you have that designation, you will get a certificate, and which is valid for the 3 years, and you can also use these badges in your, like for example, your email signature, which would indicate the different level that you are on, and you are then not an ordinary member. You will at the moment be seen as a COMENSA credentialed member. Obviously, we're going to change that soon, but that is what you will be noticed as. Now, people say, why do I have to go through this? Why this? Why that? I think our buyers of coaching, those people out there that want coaches, have become more aware that There's the cowboys and there's the great coaches. Now, how do you become a great coach? Is to be able to demonstrate that you can coach or mentor. People are becoming more educated on certain standards. And I can really assure you that organizations sometimes or companies approach COMENSA, they want coaches, and they put down what the requirements are, and 90% they ask for credentialed coaches, someone that has a professional designation. They don't want ordinary members. So if you are an ordinary member, step up, get your designation. I really encourage you, because then you will receive the notification, this place, they're looking for coaches, or whether it's coaches or mentors, they want you to be professional. They are more knowledgeable with this at the moment. So please make sure that you step up and become responsible. So that is what you get, a professional recognition or designation. And you can use these logos, put it out there, make sure people know who you are, and be proud of it. And you can also, on the website, student members are not listed. If someone wants a coach or mentor, they can go and look there. The ordinary members their names would appear, but that is it. So if you are an ordinary member and someone wants to check on you and they go and look on COMENSA, they will find your name there, but that's it. But once you have this designation, you are then listed, your profile would be there, your picture, if you put it on. Some people don't bother, they don't put a picture on. And you can give a brief description of what you do, what's your niche, how you do your coaching or your mentoring, what you specialize in, and your contact details would also be available there. So please, why not? But that is when you will be listed on the website. So people say, okay, how do I apply for this? Obviously, if you want to be or have your professional designation, you need to be an ordinary member. You cannot apply if you are a student member. You have to be an ordinary member. So if you are a student member and you are ready, step up, become ordinary, and you can apply for your designation. How do we apply? Obviously, if you're not a member, you can also not apply. Here's the steps, and we'll go through it briefly so that you at least get a good idea how to do this. And again, if you struggle, reach out. I'll give you my email address at the end. You're welcome. We'll guide you through it. We'll jump onto a Zoom call or whatever, or you can buy me a coffee if you are in Gauteng, and I'll go through it with you. That's just a joke, but yeah. So you log in to your profile, which would come up like that. And this has been taken off, fortunately. Then your dashboard will open up. Okay, and then where the arrows are, you can click on the dashboard and this will come up where you can see it says hello and your name will come up there, and it says training provider program. That is if you are a training provider and you want to have your program approved, that is where you go for that, to get your details, your application uploaded to have your program approved. But now we're going to the credentialing. So you say apply for credentialing, and this will come up where it will also list your evaluators, or then you choose, are you applying for a coach credential or a mentor credential, or designation rather. And once you've clicked on the correct one there, it will show you, again, apply now, coaching credential. But on the left-hand side, there's policies related to this designation application, which you can go and read and make yourself familiar if you are unsure of anything there. Also on the right-hand side, it shows check on the progress of your application. Now, if you have applied, you'll see once you've done it and you haven't completed it yet, or you have completed it yet, don't log in and start a new application. There is an option for you to just check the progress of your current application. Because some people, they go on, they open an application and they leave it. And then 6 months later, they open another one and another 2 and another 3. Or they've already completed their application, submitted it, and then they constantly go and apply for it again and again, or open a new application. So your name goes on and on there, like we see it 6 or 7 times. So try and stick to one if possible. So you click on that one, and then it will ask you again, what are you applying for? And it says either mentor or coach, and you click on that. Proceed. It sounds overwhelming sometimes for some people, or difficult or complicated. It's really not. But this will give you a good idea. Then once you've clicked on that, this will come up, and there again, it gives you the option to say download the policy. The top part there shows you the different steps that you need to go through. Introduction, select the credential, update your details. So as you go along, it will go to the next step. Now go to the next step. Once you've updated your details, you'll see just now, then you do the online payment. Once you've done that, it's uploading the documents. But for now, we're going to look at download the policy. I'm not going to show you that. Obviously, you can go through it on your own time. Then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the different requirements with the hours, etc. And below that, it says pathways to being credentialed. And there it'll show you the blue. That is if you have done training, undergone training. If you have not and you want to go the RPL route, recognition of prior learning, you go to the one just below that. It's slightly different route, different documents that you also have to do extra, because you're not going to upload a training certificate. You're going to upload a different document that asks in detail your growth and everything like that up to date. Then it also say, yeah, click here, if you scroll down a little bit more, to view the documents required for credentialing, and also via RPL. And if you click on that, you will see the documents, which is something like this. Client reference 1, client reference 2, client reference 3. You need 3 references from clients that you've either coached or mentored. Your copy of your ID. Then there's certain essays, diversity essay, any ethical dilemma that you've maybe experienced, your self-development plan. So there's different essays. They're about 200 words each that's required. So it's not a long 5-page or 9,000 word essay. Very short, very brief, to the point. Then very important is your coaching log. That's almost the do or die on your application. If your coaching log or mentoring log does not reflect the required hours, we're going to have to question it and come back to you on that and say what's happened here. So make sure that your coaching log is up to date. If you haven't got one yet and you just started out coaching, please do start your log. With every hour or 2 hours or whatever, if you do a group, you can also obviously claim those hours or log it. If you do every coaching session you do or mentoring session, put the hours down in your log, that you don't have to, once you want to apply, go back into 3 years calendars and try and get your hours together. Do it from the start. It makes it a lot easier, and it doesn't take that long if you're serious about your coaching or your mentoring to get to the first 100 hours. Really, it's not that difficult. There's also things like the right of the applicant to appeal, awareness of supervision. Those are all documents that you upload, and to make it easy, they have a little asterisk next to each one on the website. Once you start uploading them, when you click on upload the documents, little asterisks, those are the ones that are definitely required. If you haven't uploaded all of those, you will not be able to proceed further. So this is very important, is your documents, and superior to that is your log. So make sure that it does reflect, and out of your coaching log or your mentoring log, say 100 hours, 90% must be for paid hours. 10% can be pro bono hours where you maybe give back to the community or stuff like that. It's just to make sure that you value yourself, first of all, that you are serious about your coaching, and don't just give it away for free, because that's not a good thing at all. So make sure that you get paid for your hours. The question sometimes gets asked that if you are an internal coach for an organization or a company, and you coach during your working hours, yes, that does count because you get paid your salary. It counts as paid hours. If you do work very regular in an NPO or one of those organizations and they don't pay you, but you are getting all that experience, talk to us. We will look at that differently. But if it's just that you're too scared to ask for money, things like that, please start charging. Once you know, okay, these are the documents required, then you go down to the bottom, you click that little box that says tick to accept terms and conditions. And if you need to review it, you can click on that one next to it in the brackets, click here to view terms and conditions. Then you go to proceed. And then once you've done that, this will come up to say, okay, read more. On the introduction, you can read more. And once you've gone through that, it'll go back to this. If you are going to read more, for you to access the policy. And once you've done that, you can go back and say, okay, proceed. And then it'll say, select your credential again to ensure that you are correct, whether it's mentoring and on which level. So this will come up to say, it's like a drop-down menu, and the different levels will come up, and you can then select and proceed. This is what it looks like. So make sure that you select the correct one. Then you click on proceed, and then you'll see there it says update your details. Make sure your details are updated. We have sometimes experienced glitches. The system could have a glitch, and if you can't proceed from there, or it keeps on throwing you back, either you haven't updated everything, or maybe it's just stuck. But it shouldn't happen. The website's been updated, upgraded, so it should go a lot easier. But if you do get stuck, please send me an email. We'll help you to get past the next step. Then this is what it looks like. So you can go and put in all your details, make sure that everything's there. And you can upload your photo, everything like that. And you say proceed. And your contact details, everything will be on there. And SACWA also requires these details, which you can put there. Maybe some people are, well, different ratings and different things. Just go through it. If it's applicable, you can click on it and you say proceed. And then it will also ask you evidence to support your application. So it says, I have attended coach training, specific coach training, which covered the following subjects. And that is why it's always good to go to an approved training provider, because their program is approved subject to them teaching the behavioral standards for either coaching or mentoring, whichever one they go for. So there you'll see it says active listening, contracting, the whole story, everything is there. And you can then click yes if it is yes or no. And after this one, there's also the next, or the screen lower down, just to show you on everything like that. Those are the behavioral standards covered in those questions there. Then you click on proceed at the bottom, and then it'll say make online payment. So then it's click here to pay. If you have already paid for your credentialing and you haven't proceeded, and it's maybe a year ago, whatever, if you can give us proof of payment, this can be overridden by the administrator, but she needs to see that it has been paid. For certain instances, this does happen, or there's a certain reason behind it. Then you can proceed to the next step there. But if it's click here to pay, if you don't, you cannot proceed with your application. Okay, and I'm sure Sean can put in the chat box how much it is for those that ask how much credentialing would be. And once you've done that, unfortunately, I can't go further here because I'm not going to pay for something I'm not going to do. Then the next one is upload your supporting documents. Very important. Those documents that's got the little asterisk behind it, to make sure that you upload everything, and try to get your documents together one time. Do it once, get it over with. Once you've done that, it'll also give you the option to proceed. Then there is an online questionnaire, like a little quiz that you need to do. The questions are, it's multiple choice questions, but it's related to the behavioral standards. And if your application is for mentoring, it'll be related to that. If it's for coaching, it'll be coaching based. So then once you've done that, you should get a good mark. People get normally between 80 and 100%, which is good. Then the next one would be submit your application for review. You click on that. Once you've done that, I'll get the notification that there's an application that needs to be reviewed. I'll go through it, and once everything's there and we're happy with it, 2 evaluators will be allocated to your application. They will then be in contact with you within a few days, and set up an appointment for you to do your evaluation session, where you coach or mentor one of them. Well, sorry, the mentoring is a recording, but the coaching, where you'll be coaching one of the evaluators, and they come up with a real life situation. It's not fake, and they'll give you the outcome after the session. They'll have a chat to each other and put you in the waiting room while they're doing that, and then let you back in, and they'll give you the outcome whether you were proficient or non-proficient. And they'll give you feedback. And the feedback is not being critical or judging you in any way. It's for growth. See it as a growth gift. So those are the steps then how to apply for this designation. And if you get stuck, again, ask. We're there to help. There you can see the email details of Sean says MACSAC MCSC, and mine is MCSC Deputy, and there's my cell number. If you need to contact me to help you with your application or anything like that related to the designation, please don't hesitate. Don't struggle on your own and get frustrated and then just leave it, because sometimes people do that, and then it's just a little simple thing, and they could actually have gotten their designation already. Now it's 6 months later, and they're already out of that mode. So please do reach out. Any questions so far? Are we all good? Okay, I don't see a hand. Anyway, if something does come up, please raise your hand. Otherwise, Are we going to take a break now, Sean? Or we just got the CPD points to do?
Gabby, you've got your hand up.
Yes.
Gabby? I don't know if you're willing to move forward. We've just got CPD left, and then we'll be done. So we should be done in the next 15-20 minutes max.
Definitely, yes. Okay, I think if all's happy, then we can continue.
Len raised a hand. Len, go for it.
Okay, thanks, Sean and Andre. As I said, it's great to see you. I was involved with COMENSA many years back, so I did put a question up in the chat, and I just want to maybe chat to that, and that is that the time period in terms of the log, is there a time limit of how far back you can go, or what's the standard that you're looking for?
There's not really a time limit. If it has been coaching since you started out coaching, it's valid.
Okay. All right.
Especially if you've undergone coach training, or obviously we can't say it's subject to that because some people go RPL. So yes, we can't set a time limit to that, and especially in mentoring. Sometimes you don't even realize that you have been mentoring, and sometimes you don't even realize. And now you think back, yes, that was actually coaching. So yes, you can.
Thanks,
So
Andre.
that on.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
and then I assume that all the old credentialing and supervision, the time I think Linda de Vries and Bill Price were involved, I assume all of that has no value anymore. It's got to be redone in terms of the new standards.
Well, the standards were basically the same as then, but if you were credentialed and it expired, you'll have to redo it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and for me, there was a break. I actually went and had an assignment in Ghana, so I was out of the country for a while, and hence why I didn't renew all of that. But that's fine. I might give you a call.
You're welcome.
It'd be great to catch up. Unfortunately, I'm not in Gauteng. I'm in Cape Town, so we can't have
I know you. I know you're in Cape Town. I know you're in Cape Town. So if you get to the end of your 3 years that it's valid, and by the way, your credential or your designation is only valid if your membership is in good standing. So you need to renew your membership every year, but the designation is valid for 3 years. After the 3 years, you say, okay, here's my CPD log. It meets the requirements. I want to renew. So you don't have to be evaluated again. But if you are now on the level 1, and after 3 years or during the 3 years, you decide, I've got 500 hours, I want to go to level 2, that is a brand new application that you have to submit.
Okay.
Just to give clarity on that. Dom, before we get to you, maybe we can I saw Gabby.
Yes, I'm here, Andre. My apology. My gadget is all over the place with the buttons. The first question was the first one that the gentleman has just asked. But the second one is, how do I support the CPDs that I get when I attend some of the international summits or the events like our events here? For example, if I get invited to a Marsha Reynolds presentation and it comes with CBDs in there, do I just send the certificate because they give you the certificate, but it's international, it's unrelated to us? Does it calculate for anything?
Okay, so maybe give us a few minutes when we go to the CPD, just to show you how to upload. We'll also get to that you can just see what you can do there. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
But
just
bottom
last
line,
one.
it does count. Gabby, it does count.
Yes.
Okay. Last one.
Yes, absolutely.
The RPL, is there a document that deals with the RPL content in the website that I could look at?
Yes,
what
we'll
it
send
covers?
you the policy.
What it is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the policies, Gabby. I think that is
all right.
okay. Cool.
All right.
Yeah,
great.
there's a specific There's a specific policy for RPL.
Yeah,
Okay, so Sean, you'll send that to her.
okay.
Is that your questions?
Yes, no, that's fine. Thank you.
Perfect. And if you still have a question after the CPD, please ask. Don't worry, we'll answer. Dom?
No, thank you, Andre. You sorted it out. So, and by the way,
Okay.
both of you, the website looks absolutely fabulous. So
Thank you.
going to
Well
be very
done, Sean.
helpful. Well done, Sean.
Thank you. And a team. Dom.
Okay, I'd like to go back to Ntabi Singh's comment, and possibly I'll just let you get there. He says it's unrelated to supervision, but it actually is with regards to CPD points. Sean answered yes, and I'm just wondering if you're going to discuss this in more detail when we get to CPD, because it's yes, but.
Yes, it is yes, but yeah.
There's lots of buts there. And so, Andre, can we ask that question rather? Can we answer that when we get to the CPD?
Yeah.
And
We'll try.
And is there any way we could have a 5-minute body break? Is there anybody else who wants just 5 minutes? Because this is then the last plus questions.
Yeah, we can do 5 minutes.
Happy to
But
do
not
that,
if I'm, not if I'm the only one.
Okay.
Quarter past.
Great.
All right. Let's.
So it'll be 5 minutes. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Ooh. We're just taking a body break. Linda, so you just popped in there. We're back at quarter past. So if you need to grab yourself a cup of coffee, now's the time. I popped in the just a screenshot of the 2025 fees, Andre.
Okay.
There's a question that we need to answer. Does COMENSA have a log template that is automated? No, we don't. Can someone apply for both coaching and mentoring credentials at the same time? I presume, or you can hold both. I think that's a nice point of clarity when we start again.
Yeah, because they can, but it's 2 different applications.
Yeah. I mean, you are a master coach, master mentor.
So yeah, and I think there is a log somewhere, but if people want it, they can ask. We will send it to them, a log template. But they can also do their own.
Yeah, we're exploring something that through Yolandi that might give us that beneficial. It's a plug-in
I
for
know
members
about
to
that.
add some, to add some value.
Coach guide.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I was asked to test it.
And
One of the people that tested it, and it's actually brilliant. It's got a lot of nice stuff on it.
yeah,
I think she's launching it now soon, but it'll really
yeah.
be good because it can link to different
CPD, yeah.
organizations.
Yeah, it can plug into the modules as well. So
Yes.
I'm just have a look at it. I don't know who Samsung SM8556E is. Otherwise, let's use a name.
Andre, how's it?
Yes. Good on you.
Apologies, while they were still on break. The letter which you're looking for as a reference, because
Yes.
sometimes of some of the coaches, you'll find that they don't like me. Will that not gonna give you problems, or you just need a letter to say indeed you provide coaching here, which in some cases will be some kind of an appointment letter or whatever the case might be. Or you
Yeah,
need
it's
a
just a
testament
letter.
to say indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a letter to say, oh, this person, I've been one of the coaches, or this person's been my coach, and maybe tell a little bit about the experience with you, whichever. Yeah, and I mean, you can go and select who you ask, but obviously those people need to be not
This is what
Just
it's
the
not
ones
your
that like
buddy
you.
writing a letter just to help you out here. It's really science.
yeah, I need to apply my mind.
All right. We're already
Okay,
into the last bit, so go for it. Welcome back,
I think we
everybody.
can go.
I hope you are sufficiently relieved.
All right, so CPD, and just again for Eva that asked about the abbreviations, it's continuous professional development. Okay, this is not a very long section, so then we're done after that. If you don't ask difficult questions, because I can't answer all the questions. Sean is the fundi here. So just to give a bit of background, being professional is about your CPD. Okay, so always remember that. Keep your CPD in mind. Otherwise, the question is raised, are you growing as a coach or as a mentor or not? Yeah, Sean. So here's just something to bear in mind. Developing as a coach or mentor involves continuous learning and development and the refinement of your skills. Will Rogers said, even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. So think about that. Even if you think you're coaching so well, the big trucks are going to run over you if you just sit there and you don't grow. Your clients are going to run over you. They're going to mess with you. Oprah Winfrey said, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. So remember, you want to become not an ordinary coach, a great mentor. So CPD should really become a way of being as a coach or mentor. It should be really part of you. And remember, it's not just to upload it. It's not just to say, okay, I'll meet the requirements to have my designation renewed. You are doing it for you too, for you as the coach or the mentor, because that's the important part here, is that you can grow and become better at what you do. And isn't it something that we want to be the best in our industry? Like Robin Sharma said, if you're a Teagle and you should always strive to be the best Teagle in the whole world. And the same applies to you as a coach or mentor. Be the best there is. So why is it important? It's more than just keeping up with the trends. It's an integral path to becoming more effective. And you will then also, the more you grow and the better you become, the more respected you are as a coach or mentor. Your ethics are going to be up there. And you evolve as a coach or mentor. You meet the evolving needs of your clients. And you continually challenge yourself and you keep on improving. So please do engage in all the activities. And I may mention, on the website, there is a policy for the Continuous Professional Development, CPD. If you download that policy and you read through it, but also very important, the last 2 pages shows you all the activities you can claim for. And believe me, there's not only 1 or 2, there's quite a lot. And be creative, you can do a lot. So the other reasons it's important is your clients are more satisfied, you feel more fulfilled, it creates new opportunities, and you contribute to coaching and mentoring. And how do we do this? Create a CPD plan. No, this is how I'm going to do mine. Attend workshops, webinars, other related activities. And a good thing, attend those supervision sessions that you learn more about how you can benefit best from supervision. And there you can also, if you've never had it, you can get a taste of how it is to be in a supervision session. Engage in reflective practice, and also a good way to grow, just as a matter of interest, is after your sessions, especially if you're starting out as a coach, after each session, do some self-reflection and say to yourself, how was this session? Did it go well? Did it not go well? What did I miss? Maybe I could have asked questions differently. Always good to do that. Document your CPD activities and do it regularly, update, review, make sure that you do it the right way. How do we do it? And people struggle, and I don't know how to upload the CPD points. It's not that difficult. We're going to quickly go through this, and then we're going to be done, so that you can process all you've learned today, hopefully. So you log in on your profile, which obviously that you should know by now. And then at the top there, this will come up. It says there's CPD. Okay. Very straightforward. Then once you've clicked on that, this screen will come up, which got CPD statement, upload CPD points, and then it's got CPD general articles, which I need to mention a little bit later, what that is for, and that is very important as well. Don't forget that part. But uploading your CPD points, you click on that little button there, and this will come up. Okay? You'll see the blue, the pink. It might have changed now with a new website, but it doesn't matter for right now. Just to give you the basics, you'll see there's a button to say Add New. Okay. You click on that because now you want to upload a new CPD point. Then you'll see it'll show you the date of your activity, the title, and then there's those drop-down menus. It's improved now, which makes it a lot easier. It's more categorized into different sections. Okay. Once you click on that, there's an example. A reflective practice session. For example, maybe that's one of my activities I did. But now you can see, once you've put it in there, you go into category, and there's different categories, which you can then select. But a quick way of reference is to keep the policy next to you with those activities, just to make it easier if you don't understand anything, that you can just reference back to it in a quick way. But there you can choose and select, and you'll see there's also non-verifiable and verifiable. Now, verifiable is if, say for example, COMENSA is an event and you've registered and you have attended it, and that's where we'll come to that general articles just now. But that is important that you go through the process, and I will explain that. Or you have attended, and I have attended some ICF events, where you can ask and they send you a certificate of attendance afterwards. That is verifiable, or you get a certificate from another workshop that you've attended or something, an event, even if it's a webinar, and they give you a certificate or a proof that you've been there. That is verifiable. You can upload it. Now, if you are attending a webinar and it is coach related or mentor related, whichever designation you have, and you know, for example, that there won't be something issued as proof and you want it, take a screenshot on your laptop. You can do that. You'll be visible and you can use that to upload that if there's any questions or just to make sure it's verifiable. Non-verifiable could be something like you read a book. How can you verify that? No one's going to issue you a proof. But we might come back one day when we verify your points and say, oh, you said on this date you read this book or this article. Why don't you tell us about what you read? Tell us about it. Oh, I can't. Well, maybe did you read the book? So that's non-verifiable. There is an option for that. So don't stress about non-verifiable. You can upload it. But we trust your integrity in the process. Always remember that. So that's where you go for that. There's a subcategory. Same thing, drop down. You can see the stuff's all on there. You click, it's now just been better categorized, much easier. Okay, and you click on that. And then there's the points that you can allocate and refer to the policy on that. Because some come up automatically, but not always. Sometimes you have to put in the points. And remember, for supervision, you get 1 point per session. We had that question just yesterday that someone said, can they actually claim for per hour? No, supervision is not per hour. Other activities, sometimes it is there that you can claim per hour. So look through it, familiarize yourself with it. Then you'll see there's an attachment option. Okay, but first, sorry, there's the non-verifiable. You'll see there's also activities. And let me go back. So there where it says choose file, that's where you can upload if you have some proof that you did attend a session or you did some activity. Here's my proof. You are welcome to upload it. And there's also activity description. And it's good to say there what was really happening in that session. What did you learn? Share something. It's all there to upload and to put there. So if you have to reference back to it, you can remember, oh yes, or we can look and say, oh, this person did this. This is what the activity was about, etc. And once you've completed those, you can then submit and it will upload that point. Please give it a few seconds for the system to update, because there's someone on this webinar today that one day he uploaded the same thing. I think it was about 60 times because he got impatient, and that was Sean. And I sat for about 2 hours
15
deleting all
times.
that. So Sean implemented a delete button. So if you make a mistake, you can delete it. Okay, if you double upload your activities, you can delete it. So remember that. Then there's the non-verifiable. You can see there, reading a relevant article, professional journals or books. Those are non-verifiable, but you can upload that. So it's not wasting your time because that's part of your growth. I mean, it's great to read. It's great to, there's so many things. You can look at what's a TED Talk on this coaching subject. It's part of it. So please make sure that you continuously grow. And then once you need to download your statement, you can click on statement, and then also it'll say there, please select the cycle. Just click on that and it'll say CPD cycle. You select that, and then you can actually create your PDF statement. You can also have it in Excel if you want, but it's easier to read in the CPD statement version. This is what it will look like. points, there it says verifiable, verifiable, non-verifiable. That's it. And you can see what it was, your activities, what the date was, and how many credits are earned there. And that's it. And this is what you then save, download, save, and send to us for verification after your 3 years. We look at it, we go through it and see, oh, here's a supervision session, there's one, there's one, there's one. Make sure, very important. But also, don't just the rest after the supervision. Don't just say, oh, I read this article, I read that article, I read that article. Do a variety of activities. Don't just do the same thing over and over, because what did they say? Isn't that part of insanity? And expect different results. So give us a different result here. That's just joking, but anyway. So this CPD general articles, if you attend a COMENSA event, now this is specifically a COMENSA event. After the event, and do it as soon as possible afterwards, because I think it's only valid there for either 48 or 72 hours, and it's going to disappear. This is to claim your CPD point, and it all happens automatically in that sense. But also, after the event, and when you click on that, there's certain questions that you need to answer. Because you know what people do? Even coaches, they log on, oh, I'm there, I'm attending, but they go into the other room, into the kitchen, and they actually do cooked dinner, and someone's talking there in the background. They don't even hear what's going on. So they're not really attending, or they carry on with other work. So in this general articles, we're going to ask you some questions to make sure that you did listen, that you did attend it. And once you get that correct, you can then claim your CPD point, which will automatically be generated. All good. So if you click on that part there, it'll give you some options there of certain events that's occurred. So there was, for example, COMENSA MACSAC, the importance of coaching and mentoring in the corporate environment. So now if you've attended that, you go onto the right-hand side there and you click on view, and then the questions will come up. Normally it'll look like this: proceed to questionnaire. And you click on that at the bottom there. And here would be the questions, multiple choice. There's only 3 to 4 questions normally, and it's related. If you get this wrong, did you really attend the session? So you just click on the correct answer, go through it, and then at the end you submit it, and it's done. And then the point will be automatically generated. You don't have to go to say, is it verifiable or not? Is it this? Is it that? And it's quite easy. So please, if you have attended the session and you have your designation, just quickly do it straight afterwards while it's still fresh in your memory. Do it, get it done, and like they say, Bob's your uncle. So that is this bit of information that I can share on CPD. And I think if there are any questions, you are welcome. But in the meantime, just to give you some time, here's the administrator at COMENSA. If you also have questions or anything that you need, Tamara, most of you know her, and those that did attend the roadshows in person would have met her at most of them. She's always trying to help, otherwise she'd refer it to someone that can assist. There's a contact number as well, and there's the website address. So my question would be, after hearing about credentialing or the professional designation, which is such a better word, what is holding you back today? Why don't you go for it and say, I want to do that too? It's not that difficult, and some people really enjoy it. And sometimes they are feeling intimidated if one of us are the evaluators. I know there was one lady, when she saw Mahal and she saw me, we're going to evaluate her. Oh, what now? And the minute they go into the coaching session, they go into a different mode, and the nerves are gone, and they do brilliantly. And I mean, last week I did an evaluation with someone. The coach came, they were very well prepared, and this person said, I don't have a script here. I'm just going to coach like I normally do. And that's what we want. And this person was absolutely brilliant. The way he picked up, he says, you're using that word quite often. I picked that up. Tell me more about that. The way he asked the questions, the way he came to the designing actions. He was brilliant. The feedback, we couldn't say to him, you need to do this better, you need to do that differently, or what about this, what about that? This person was really brilliant. I was like blown away, and I've had a few of those. And it's just because those people are prepared. And also what we normally encourage is do what you always do in your sessions, because that's what it should be. You should be real, authentic, show up your best, but demonstrate the behavioral standards. Now, how do you do that? A good way to do that is keep the grow model or grow and clear model in mind. Grow. What is it that you want from today's session? What's your reality? What are your options, etc.? The clear model, contracting, listening, etc. So go and look at those and prepare yourself. And if you need guidance, please, we help you, because the intention also from the evaluators are not to down you. It's not to see how we can fail you or find you non-proficient. It's really, we want a positive outcome, because the more professional coaches there are out there, and if you're don't have that professional designation, we're not saying you're not professional, but then step up, go for it. We are looking out for you, and we really want you to join the professional designations on our website. We want to see your picture there too. So don't wait, reach out. So please feel free, if you got any questions,